If you guys can hear me okay. I don't know who's actually here right now, but if you can hear me, and you could tell me that you can hear me clearly and it's not fading, because I don't like going back and watching it and finding out that I've been doing all this talking and you guys weren't able to hear me. So I am going to wait for some more people to come in, and then I will continue talking. Um, so the setup I did today is a little bit different, obviously, because the last couple episodes I've been talking with a microphone away from me, and I think that was the issue. So hopefully, um, today you can hear me clearly, because today's episode is, I think, really is very very important. Um, and yesterday, there's another first. Today was actually, I mean, this episode is actually about a quote I just wrote today. Usually my previous episodes were quotes that I wrote previously, and I talk about it, but today is actually a quote that I wrote today. And can someone say something in the chat so that I know that you guys can hear me okay? Oh, I can see people coming in now. I don't see anybody in the chat right now, but I am going to continue talking, and then I'm going to wait for more people to show up. Everyone's showing up. Joanne, hi, Joanne. You're the first person I see. Can you hear me okay? Is it clear? Can you tell me if it's clear? Because this time I have the microphone like right to my face, so you guys can hear me clearly this time. Yeah, so I was just hi, Roger. We just got back. Hey, Shell, welcome back. I know you guys. Hey, Fadia, how are you doing? Michelle and Joanne, you guys are the first person I see. Bean went out for a nice walk. Glad to see you guys here. I'm so glad you guys. Is it clear? Is it clear? Sai, you made it. Good morning, Sai. Welcome to another live. I'm so happy to see you guys. You guys are always here, and I really appreciate it. And I know, my Facebook lives is much different from my YouTube live, but I want to bring that live experience here also here on my YouTube channel. So, as I was saying that this morning, or the first quote that I wrote today was the one that I'm going to be talking about today. And I think it's a very very important topic. It's about change, and the reason why. Actually, I was thinking about it last night before, like how to put the words together and make it sound so that it's short, but it also is very, very meaningful. Because I wouldn't have been able to heal myself if I didn't make that decision to change my life, right? So that's what I really want to talk about is where to start, right? A lot of people are probably asking themselves like, yeah, I want to see my future, I want to be in a happy place. How do I get through this really dark chapter in my life? And there's a lot of questions that people ask themselves, right? And you want to change your life, but where do you start? What are the things you have to think about to actually tell yourself, hey, this is the right time to do it? And hopefully what I'm going to talk about today is going to help you, push you, and get you the idea of how to change your mindset so that you're able to, you know, think about these possibilities for yourself that you can also change your life as I did. Right. Hey, Bernadette, how are you doing? Mary, hi, Mary, how are you doing? Megan, hey, how are you doing? Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Good morning, everyone. Happy to hear you. I'm so happy to see you, Sai. And I just want to say so yesterday I posted, I'm almost close to 5,000, but I'm almost at the halfway mark to my channel. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that helped me. I'm so close. I'm about 70 subscribers away from hitting 4,500. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all you guys that already subscribed to my channel, and for all those that helped me yesterday for the past 24 hours to help me reach to that level. So change is just what we need many times. Yeah, change is very scary, right? Change is just something, like, we think about the change, but then we kind of step back and say, I don't know, like, I'm some people are pretty content with their living in their comfort zone, so they don't really think about that change. But I told myself, like, prior to my accident and prior to me getting anxiety and depression, I was in a comfort zone for the longest time, and I saw myself in a space where I wanted to see changes, but the thing was I didn't do anything about it, right? I literally just was waiting for that day for things to happen, and unfortunately that doesn't work. That it doesn't work that way, like, I learned that, from lying down on a couch for like almost 2 years, not seeing any changes. And the reason why there weren't any changes was because I was doing anything about it. I was wondering why my life was so horrible was because, I was actually making those changes in a negative way. It was because of the way I was thinking, right? I was thinking about all these dark things, and that's what made my life go backwards, you know. And today's quote I'm gonna talk about there's more people coming in. You guys probably saw the quote today, but I'm gonna show it to you anyways, just for anybody that missed it. And actually, I'm pretty happy about how many people liked it. It's almost at 7,000 likes. It's my first post today, so it does show that people are responding to it because they believe in that change, right? They believe that, we are stuck. Some of us are stuck thinking about our past. We can't get past it, right? And what happens is that when you're constantly thinking about the things that you did wrong, the bad choices you made in the past, it literally is putting barriers in front of you so that you can't move forward because you're so focused on concentrating on all those things that happened to you before, right? So it's all about letting go. And I've talked about letting go many times, and I think letting go is definitely one of the hardest things to do, especially if you lost someone close. That's probably the hardest thing to do, to move forward when that person is not there beside you anymore, right? And I know, Sai, you've been through that. You the past year, it's been pretty rough for you. So the quote, you guys seen it today, is this one here. Oh, you can see all my lights. Oh, oh, oh. You guys, you guys can see, all right. You can't change the past, but you can make changes today for a better tomorrow. Hi, Nihal. How are you doing? Rita. Oh, Rita, how are you doing? Rita, you joined. I was gonna message you and tell you I was gonna go live, but setting up this whole thing here took me an hour, and then I was running out of time. I didn't want to go on too late, because it's Thursday here, and some of you it's Friday. You guys have to go to work. My mom is online. My mom, hey mom, she's actually here at my house. She's downstairs. She's probably watching on her phone. Hi mom, how are you doing, mom? Um, my dearest son, Roger, good luck and successful. You are amazing. Congratulations. So that is my mother right there, guys. So if you want to just give a shout out to my mother, she is lovely, beautiful woman. I love her so much. Thank you, mom. Thank you for everything that you have done for us. I'm talking about my kids, Pat, my brother, and my sister. Everything that you do. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you, mom. I love you so much. Uh, I promise that I will have her live. She is such an amazing soul, a beautiful person, the strongest person I know. I learned a lot of how to be strong. Like when I was at my weakest point, I saw my mom at her strongest, right? And I really wanted to learn how to be like that. Not only that, but I also wanted to make her happy because she was crying with me every single day almost, right? Because we had a really, really dark time. And that's another reason why I wanted to change my life. Today's topic is about change, so I really wanted to change my life because I wasn't seeing anything positive going around in my house. Like, because the way I was feeling, like how dark it was, I was really dark, right? Like everything about me was dark, and that affected my family. And to see my mother in that situation, it was devastating, to see her like that, and I'm sure it was devastating for her to see her son, who she raised for her entire life, to be in that situation as well. So, yeah, so I wouldn't have been able to be this strong without without my mother, because she is such an absolutely amazing person. Farhana, hey Roger, happy evening. Time filled with positive thoughts and hopes. Hey Farhana, how are you doing? Love you so much. You guys can hear me, right? You guys can hear me okay? This time it's pretty clear. I mean, it's not fading out and the sound is good. I think the lighting's actually pretty good too, right? Yeah, so about change, okay, guys. So about the past, one thing that really stopped me from moving forward was because when I was going through that time when I had anxiety and depression, I was always looking back at the Roger prior to my accident. I wish, like in my head, I was saying to myself, I wish I went back to that Roger before I hit my head. I think that Roger was the perfect Roger, but now that I've healed myself and I've become stronger and I've learned so many things about life, I now realize that Roger was just not even close to, the best version of myself. Not even like it was a version of Roger that was stuck, right? That was lost, that was wishing for better days, that was, just I was always focusing on what happened, like, all my successes and failures, right? Like, you guys know that my brother and I had a very successful company together, right? And we had to close the business down, and I kept thinking about that, I kept thinking about, "Man, I was doing so well, but, why did that happen to me?" And I couldn't stop thinking about it. I could have done this, I should have done this, and blah, 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 and all these things, and the more I thought about it, the more it made me not want to continue moving forward because I was like, "I put so much blood and sweat," even my brother, right? We put so much, energy and we put a lot of heart and soul into that company, and to watch it fall apart, it kind of discouraged me to work harder, you know, and it stopped me, right? And that's I believe that was the reason why I couldn't jump over that and I was stuck. So, and it's not just that business, you guys know that I used to sing before, right? I mean, that was already something that I really loved to do, right? I was a professional singer, then all of a sudden I wasn't, I thought that was my dream job, but all of a sudden, and sometimes I go back and I think about that, I was like, what is the point of working so hard when at the end of it, everything is going to crash down on you, all crash down, and you're going to you have to start from scratch, right? And when you're thinking about that all the time, it really does affect the way your how your mindset is, right? And what you need to do is, and I learned that definitely, right? When I started to see a change, when I started to actually move forward and I started to work on a better version of myself, the more I saw changes, like a positive change, how my life was, how much stronger I was, how many more goals I had, how much more determined I was. Um, just I could see myself, right? You have to actually picture yourself, seeing yourself in a place. I talk about a lot, right? Seeing yourself in a place where you can see yourself happy, but not only that, but also to see yourself being successful, right? And to gain success, you have to accept failure, right? Like, if you never failed, right? And then all of a sudden, like, you've been successful for a long time and then you failed, you wouldn't know how to handle that, right? So, I mean, this all goes with me writing quotes, right? When I first started, it was a bold move, right? Because I didn't think that, anyone was going to like the stuff I wrote because I'm not before when I started writing, I didn't believe that I was a good writer. Like in school, I never thought I could write, right? But the more I did it, the more I practiced, the more I posted, I became more confident in myself, right? But I'm telling you guys, there are so many times when I posted, and you guys know this, right? There was a time where I actually stopped writing. Like I almost called it quits because um, my page was at like 2,000, not even 2,000 followers, and it was stuck there for like the longest time. I'm talking like 3, 4 months. It didn't move, right? And every single post I posted was like 5 likes, 6 likes. And I was like, "What are you doing, Roger? Like, maybe you should just do something else." I really had those thoughts, so I stopped writing. And if I didn't push myself, you know, after realizing that, hey, Roger, you found what you love to do. Isn't that the whole point, right? Is to really to wake up in the morning and to have something that you want to continue doing. And also I made a promise to myself that, I wanted to help as many people as possible, right? And if I just stopped there, imagine if I just stopped writing and I just went out and I found a 9 to 5 job or whatever the case may be, I wouldn't be here sitting here today with 1.2 million followers on my Facebook page, right? I wouldn't have my YouTube channel. I wouldn't be writing consistently all the stuff that I've been doing and spreading positive, energy all over the world, right? Who would have thought that, right? But I saw the change. Once you start to see that change, it makes such a huge difference, right? And I talk about those little steps all the time, right? That sometimes you are going to take those little steps. You're not going to see any change, right? And it's very discouraging. And though that's the time when you feel like you just want to give up because you're not going to see any progress, right? And when I first started, my steps were so tiny, right? When I wanted to heal myself, And I didn't see any changes at all. And when there's a length of time where you just don't feel like you haven't improved, your days are still the same, and it's normal for anybody to think that way, that, hey, you know what, maybe I should just stop right here, right? Because no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, I'm never going to get there. But remember, that's a mindset. That's you telling yourself, "Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to do it." You're telling yourself that. You're like you're literally creating that for yourself. But when you start to change it and switch it around, and you start telling yourself, "Hey, you know what? No, I can get there. I can do that. I just have to be a little bit more patient." Right? I have to be patient. And, those little steps, I'm telling you, like, those little steps aren't going to seem anything right now. But eventually, there is going to be a day when you're going to start to see a change. You're going to start to see a difference in your life. And once you even see that small bit of change, that's when your steps are going to get a little bit bigger. That's when you're going to even take, I was it a couple of days ago, I put that quote, or maybe I talked about how your steps, every single step you take, they're going to start off small, but eventually those steps are going to become, giant steps, and those giant steps are going to be leaps, and soon you'll be jumping and you'll be on top of that mountain. Everyone wants to be on top of that mountain, right? But you're going to have to climb. You're going to have to climb every single day. You're going to have to push yourself every single day. And I mean, you just have to be determined. Okay, guys, I'm telling you that determination, setting your goals and telling yourself that, you know what, no matter what happens, no matter what, I am going to get there, right? And nothing is going to stop me, right? That mindset, right? That is the mindset you have to start working up here. And that's why it is so important to start focusing on your goals, right? Focusing on strengthening your mindset, focusing on taking good care of yourself, focusing on believing in yourself, and most importantly, the number one thing is loving yourself, right? I'm going to go to the chat. Thank you, Megan. You can hear me perfectly fine. So far, there's no gaps or no hissing or okay, good. This is good. I think this setup is working, guys. Sorry, I talked so much there. I didn't get a chance to say I see the chat. Okay, so you're looking awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Farhana. Blessing for encouraging words. Your quotes has made me more strong and confident than I was before. I'm so glad, Farhana. I get a lot of that too. So, like literally, like I don't think a lot of us know how strong we really are, right? And we need to. There's only one way we're going to figure out how strong we are, right? It's when we go through those dark chapters in our life. That is the only way that we're going to find out how like we literally came into this world because we were strong enough to live it. Maybe you're not going to figure it out now, but sooner enough, you know, whatever chapters that you're going through right now, something within that chapter is going to bring that strength out in you, especially the dark ones, right? When everything's good and whatever, I mean, that's not really going to help you bring that inner strength, right? But when you're in that darkness, right, and you're fighting through it every single day, and then when that one day you overcome it, you know how much more stronger you're going to be, right? Sai, for me personally, your quote is always inspires me, motivate me, encourage me. I thank you for that, Sir Roger. You're so very welcome, Sai. I mean, it is so important for me to help anyone that is as feeling lost, right? Most importantly, and going through, number one is going through anxiety and depression. Because when I was going through that, I really thought that there was no answer, no cure, there was no way, it was impossible to find my happiness again, right? That and I kept thinking about that every single day, like I'm never gonna see my kids like smile again. I'm never gonna see my mom not cry anymore. I'm never gonna like even that. Okay, there's this time when you guys probably know this story, but my daughter was my eldest daughter, well, my second eldest, was graduating from high school. One of the moments, right, that is like a once in a lifetime thing. And prior to my accident, I was thinking about it. I'm gonna take photos of her. I'm gonna go and watch her get her diploma and everything. But on that same day, I was lying on the floor, like with barely any clothes on. As my daughter with her friends came over to our house, they were taking photos. I couldn't even be a part of that, you know. And So she went to the school, and as she was at the school, I was lying on the floor crying, and I was picturing myself, "Okay, Roger, today is one day, okay? If you miss today, your daughter is gonna remember this day for the rest of her life. I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life, right?" So, what I did was I told myself, "Roger, get up, right? Get up and go to the school right now, right? As long as your daughter sees you in that gymnasium and she's at least sees you, you don't have to stay there for the whole entire thing, but as long as she sees you, she's gonna be able to smile, like, maybe she's not gonna smile up there, but deep inside, she's gonna be like, 'My dad made it.'" So I got up, I ran to the school, like, I was so that one of my worst moments, I think. I was so at that point, I thought I couldn't heal myself at all, right? That's when my life was so horrible at that time. I went to the gymnasium, I sat down, my wife was there, and she was surprised. She was like, "Wow, you actually made it," right? And right when I sat down, my daughter went up on stage, and I saw her, she looked up and she saw me, right? And I saw her smile. I saw her smile. And when I saw that, my my eyes started to get watery, right? And during that time, I wasn't able to uh be in crowded places, right? So I really literally forced myself to sit there. Like the gymnasium was full of people, right? I was so afraid of people looking at me and say, "Oh, like who's this crazy guy?" So, but right after she received the diploma, I couldn't hold it anymore because I was so sad. I was crying inside because of happiness, but at the same time, I was crying. I was so sad because I wasn't 100%. I wasn't able to, like watch the whole thing and hug her and all that stuff at the end. So I got up. I told my wife, I gotta go. So as I was walking home, I cried all the way home, and when I got home, I just went back down on the floor. I went back into my own reality, right? The darkness that I was living in. But I was happy, at that split second. I was like, Roger, you did something really courageous today. Something deep within me told me, you know what, Roger, you really, really need to do this. And that is something that I look back at, during my healing process. I remember that day. I said, "Hey, Roger, remember that time when you were really sad and depressed and you didn't wanna go see your daughter, get her diploma? You did tell yourself, 'Roger, get up,' you know? Go out there and get it done,' right?" And with that kind of mindset, I was like, "Hey, you know what? If I was able to do that, then what's stopping me from doing that again with something else?" Right? And so I took that and I said, "Roger, you need to make changes, right? If you want to see a positive change in your future, start doing it today. You can definitely do something today to make things happen. You want a brighter future? Here's your opportunity. Today is the perfect day." Right? So I was listening to myself, telling myself that every single day, and that's when I made that decision. Roger, when you wake up in the morning, go downstairs and clean that basement, right? Get something done. You know, I mean, that is a huge change, a shift, right? The shift of having a negative mindset to a positive mindset, the shift of, doing something unproductive for the entire day to doing something productive for the entire day. Huge difference, right? If you're sitting at home doing nothing all day, what's going to happen tomorrow? Absolutely nothing. If you decided that today, you know what, I'm going to try doing something, whether it's for yourself or whether it's something that is going to bring positive changes for you for tomorrow, then do it. Try it. If you're not going to try it, you're never going to know, right? If I didn't even attempt, go, walking down to that basement and putting myself in a corner, at least starting, you know, I wouldn't have been. Honestly, like if I didn't clean up that basement, I wouldn't be here today. Right. Because when I started to see changes, when I started cleaning up that basement, this started to change. The way I was thinking started to change. The the thoughts that were coming through my mind were starting to change because I started to see a lot of positive things happening as I was cleaning, right? I started to see a little bit that light started to get bigger and bigger, like that glow that I was waiting for so long, it was starting to happen, you know? Which I thought was never going to happen because I kept living inside this dark little corner. It felt like like I imprisoned myself in this little box, right? But I was actually creating those doors for myself, right? Those gates, and then those thick stone walls, and I put mountains in front of me, and I blocked everyone. I blocked everything, right? So as I was in that corner in that basement, I was chipping away day by day, minute by minute, right? Chipping away, creating a tunnel for myself so that one day I can eventually see that light. David, hey, how's it going? Glad you can join, David. Yeah, I've been talking a lot about changes and stuff. So if you missed a little bit of it, you can always rewatch the live. But I'm glad you made it. I just kind of got started. Uh, I mean, I have so much to say, but today is about change. So, David, Jesus replied, "Truly, I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Wow, that is powerful. That is incredibly powerful. And yeah, the seed, planting a seed is like I look at that as well, right? If what I was doing every single day when I was going through my anxiety and depression was that I was planting seeds that don't grow, or dark seeds that I planted that was going to basically create this forest that I saw, right? That was blocking out the sunlight, and the leaves were black, right? That was what I was planting every single day because you know I was thinking about all the darkest things, like the worst case scenarios, right? Like I it was crazy. And some of you probably can feel that too, right? Sometimes you just feel like, like when you tell yourself, "Hey, you know what? I really can't see that light," right? So as long as you start thinking that you can't see that light, you are actually planting a seed for yourself, telling you, you're literally planting the seed, and this this dark plant's going to grow, and this forest, the same as I was, this forest was growing. So, that basement story, that's when I started to plant like beautiful flowers, you know, delicious fruits, exotic plants, my paradise. I was planting those kind of seeds, and eventually, it became my reality. So it really is important what you do on a daily basis, and that's why I talk about a lot, guys, right? Like, before you go to bed, ask yourself, like, this is so important. You have to ask yourself, like, did I do enough? What did you do today? What did you do today that's gonna help you tomorrow, right? For yourself. It could be anything. Like, even if you worked out for 5 minutes, that's still something positive that you're doing to your body. If you had two nutritious meals today, then tomorrow you're gonna be that much more healthy, right? If you start, focusing on not watching the news, right? And reading more motivational content, watching more motivational videos, you know, picking and choosing, selecting the right things that you need to watch and listen to help you clear up here and to strengthen up here, then you're doing something positive for yourself. And that is going to make positive changes for you tomorrow. It may not seem like it when you wake up, right? But eventually, as you do it every single day, right? You have to be consistent, right? If you're just doing it once per month, it's going to fade away fast. If you're doing it every single day, though, however, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes a day, you are going to see huge changes within a month. If you're doing it every single day, within after 30 days, you're going to see incredible changes. And that's when you're going to start to even want to see more changes. That's when you're going to start to tell yourself, hey, you know what? I want to accomplish more goals. I want to try challenging more of my fears. I am going to leave my comfort zone, and I'm going to make my life exciting, right? We don't know how long we have, right? We don't know, like, you know, like, your greatness all depends on what you're going to do today, right? And I know it's hard when you're always thinking about your past, right? It is definitely hard, and I get it a lot when people say, yeah, it's easy to say but hard to do. Everything, like, but I tell myself, like, yes, it is hard to do, right? Easy to say, but you got to do the hard in order to make it for it to eventually become easy, right? A lot of things start off hard, definitely does, right? When I first thought about trying to heal myself, thought it was impossible, thought it was like the hardest thing to do. But I told myself that there's like I really want to see my kids happy. I really want to see my wife smile. I really want to see my mom. I wanna go out with my mom again, right? I remember those days, when I took my whole family out and we had a great time. I want those experiences again, you know, and nothing's gonna stop me. Like, I am really gonna try really hard, I promise, right? When I fell and I hit my head, I was already given a second chance, right? My chiropractor even told me, and you guys probably heard me talk about it, that if I landed in a different way, I might not have woken up that day. Right? So I look at it as, hey, you know what, Roger? Take every single day as an extra day. Use that day that God has given you, this extra day, to help as many people as you can, like you promised yourself, and do as much as you can every single day to work on your greatness, right? And with that mindset, I'm telling you, man, you guys are going to see a huge difference. You want to see change? Start changing the way you think up here. It is it is one of the most powerful things that you can do to yourself, right? And like I said, right, guys, my motto, your mind matters. That's where it comes from. I went through an incredible journey learning about how difficult life is because of the way you think, right? The world that we're creating inside our head, what we're thinking, what we're accepting, what we're believing, that is your reality, right? If you're telling yourself every single day you're not going to be successful, you're never going to be happy, you're going to be sad forever, your life sucks, you know, um, I hate people, I hate the world, I mean, that is the world you're going to live in. Change all of that. Change that. I love myself. I can't wait to see tomorrow. I can't wait to see changes in my future. You know, um, I love the people that surrounds me. I love the world. Even those small things, well, not small things. I mean, if you love the world, that's a huge thing, right? But if you change your perspective, then you're going to see amazing changes in your life. It all comes hand in hand, right? If you are sending that positive energy out to the universe, then the universe doesn't say, you know what? You deserve great things in your life because you understand the beauty of life. You understand the beauty of your life. You understand the beauty of people, right? All of this is like it's connected, right? Focus on your own good deeds and upcoming days to see rainbows in your mind, Roger. Ooh, I love rainbows, guys. You know what? I haven't actually seen. Have you guys seen a rainbow lately? I haven't seen a rainbow in a long time. There was this one year though. I'm telling you, like every month or maybe every 3 weeks, I saw a rainbow. It was crazy. Um, Power of Now, message retracted. I didn't see your message, Power of Now, but thank you for joining. Shell, despite our past, we have the ability to make our futures better and live in the present by taking each day as it comes. Definitely. It definitely is. I mean, Shell, you've all of us have that had a past that we want to forget about, right? Shell, I know you had that difficult moment with your mother and stuff, but you were able to get past that. And because you saw changes, you wanted changes and you had to make a very difficult choice in your life and you did it, right? And now you can say, you know what, I'm so glad I made that big bold step, because now you can look at your life and say, man, I'm so happy every single day I'm with Bean. I have a job that I love to do. I can't wake up in the morning and see the kids. I mean, it's huge, right, Shell? Like those changes, big changes, big steps are going to be equivalent to big changes, right? I'm not saying that small steps aren't going to be big changes. You're going to have to take a lot of small steps to see the big changes, but don't ever stop taking those small steps, right? Hey, my brother's online. What's up, Pat? You joined. I think you just woke up, right? Wow, 8:30. I think is it 9:30 in the morning for you, Pat? I think it is, right? My brother is online. I just want to give a shout out to my brother because my brother is, you guys know the story. I talked about it. We were live the last week. When I told him that I had anxiety, he basically dropped. He was in Hong Kong, remember, guys? He dropped everything, and he said, "You know what, Roger? I don't care what's happening here with me in Hong Kong. I need to do whatever it takes for me to get to Toronto, so I can come see my brother and take care of you." That is my brother right there, guys. I mean, he is my rock, my best friend, and he's just amazing. Hey Pat, you want to do a live on YouTube soon again? Well, I want to make this a regular thing. My brother is he really knows a lot about spirituality. So if you're into that, I think our next thing we're gonna do on live is maybe we'll talk about that because if especially if you lost someone close to you, Joanne, I know you have, and Sai, you have too. Pat has a lot of knowledge about that. So you can learn a lot from Pat. You're awesome. Shell, I wanted and needed that change. Yes, wanting that change is important, right? Thinking about change is another thing, right? We all think about change, but taking that action to do it is where it's going to make that difference, right? Like when I was going through that dark time, every single day I wanted change, right? I wanted to see changes. But the difference was I wasn't doing anything about it, right? I saw it as a vision, a very faint vision, right? But again, that basement story, that is when everything changed for me because that's when I actually got off of the couch, right? And I focused on that change. I wanted that change so bad, right? So I like the more I focused, the more I could start seeing that vision become more apparent. That I it was a possibility, right? Because like I know I'm not gonna like I talk a lot about focus, but I'm just gonna talk about it again because focus, what it does is just say you're thinking about negative thoughts all day long, right? And as you're thinking about negative thoughts, it's hard for the positive thoughts to start coming in. So obviously, you're going to be focusing, but you're going to be focusing on the wrong thing. You're going to be focusing on the negative thoughts, right? Not allowing even the positive thoughts to come in, because once they start coming in, it's like they come in and then bam, and they get pushed out because the negative thoughts are so strong, right? But with the focus, because I was focusing on cleaning that basement, those negative thoughts didn't even get a chance to enter into my head. I mean, they were knocking at the door, but I was so focused on cleaning the basement, I didn't open the door and allow it to come in. So I didn't even get a chance to actually listen to the chit chatter, right? And I didn't realize it until after I finished the basement that all the negative thoughts I was thinking about, like my symptoms, right? Remember, guys, I was talking about that sleeping sensation I had all over my head and my body. I didn't even feel it. I had this hearing problem. I wasn't even thinking about it. Even when I went to bed, the hardest thing for me was probably going to sleep because I had this pressure inside my head. It felt like someone was squeezing the side of my head, right? And then I had this buzzing noise, which is almost like it sounded like crickets chirping constantly, right? And I couldn't sleep. It was horrible for me. But even that disappeared. So that just shows you how powerful your mind is, right? When you start to shift a little bit over to start focusing, right? And not allowing those negative thoughts to constantly attack you, then that's when the shift is going to happen. And that's when positive thoughts start entering your mind, it's almost like a magnet, right? You're going to start to lean more towards it, and as you lean more towards the positive thoughts, then the negative thoughts start to shift away. Are there it's almost going to be like a whisper, right? And then obviously the more you listen to the positive thoughts, then the more positive your life is going to be. And that's when I start to see positive changes in my life, right? Doing the action, like that action, like basically getting up and doing it, that is the difference there, right? Thinking about it all day is only a fraction of it. The like majority of it is you telling yourself to get up and getting it done, basically, right? Bernadette, right. Only you is responsible for your own happiness. It's how you manage your life. Nobody else can do it for you. That's exactly right, right? Someone could be there, sit there and talk to you for days, right? They could say, you can do this, you can do that. Like what I'm doing right now, right? I'm telling you all these things, right? But it is up to you whether you're going to take that information and use it, right? You can listen to you can watch this video over and over again, right? In 1 year's time, if you didn't do anything I said today, right? And you're wondering how come my life hasn't changed? Well, it's because you didn't do anything about it. But if you're watching this today, then tomorrow you took some of my advice today and you took a step, then hey, you know what? That's telling yourself, hey, you know what? I am going to do something about that. And that's you making the change for yourself, right? And then, once you start seeing those positive changes, it's almost like a ripple effect, right? Like w- when you start taking action and you start seeing these great things happening in your life, why wouldn't you want to continue doing it, right? Because it makes sense. If this is happening to me every single day, if I'm seeing these positive changes every day, then look at yourself a year from now, maybe even 5 months from now. How much better is your life going to be 5 months from now if you're going to do this every single day? Much better. Huge difference, right? And that is you working up here, changing the way you think and creating a positive mindset for yourself, right? And the more you continue to do it, and remember, guys, it's consistency. It's just like working out or anything, right? The more you do it, the better results, fast and faster it's going to happen, right? If you're doing it once a week, you're going to see some results, right? But you're not going to see it as much as if you were going to do it every single day. You're just going to receive it that much faster, right? Sai, thank you guys for all your informative comments. Thank you, Siraj Lee, for your live. You're very, very welcome. I know people's been asking me when you're going to do my next live. I'm actually going to do a live tomorrow too on Facebook, so don't miss that. Um, but yeah, I love doing my lives. I love doing lives everywhere. I don't think I've done a live on Instagram yet, but I'm just gonna focus on Facebook and YouTube for now. So, Pat Lee, my brother, Always trust in your voyage in life and keep yourself in motion, moving towards your goal. Yes, definitely. I mean, there is always that doubt. We all have doubt, right? But focus is so key. If you have a goal, try to accomplish it as much as you can, right? Like my goal was to help as many people as I can as I was healing myself. And, and that is, and when I wake up in the morning, that is the first thing I think about is like this quote today that I wrote today that I'm talking about was something that I was thinking about yesterday, right? Because I was telling myself, okay, so people want to change. People want to find out how are they going to change their life? What are they going to do? What do they have to do for themselves, right? To be able to get to that point where they can start changing their lives. And the thing is, I think it's easy for someone to say, I want to change my life, right? But I didn't realize it until like during that time I was healing myself that there is a time and a place for that to happen because for some people it's really really hard, especially when you're right at the bottom. If you hit rock bottom or your anxiety depression is really really bad, it's easy to tell yourself, yeah, I want to change my life, but I can't do it. I just can't, right? And I remember I was telling myself every day, but there was also time, there was a timing. Like I felt that it was time for me to do it, right? So it may that same thing might be for you as well, right? Like even if you watch this video and tomorrow you're going to try make and you want to change your life and it's not happening, don't tell yourself that you can't get it done, okay? Maybe it's not gonna be tomorrow that you're gonna see changes, but at least, try. Try as hard as you can, right? And eventually you're going to see, some differences. It's gonna be small changes, right? But I just remember telling myself, Roger, you gotta keep going. Roger, you wanna see your mom happy? You wanna see your kids smile? You wanna see your brother happy? You wanna see your sister happy? Then keep moving, keep pushing stuff. You got it. You got it. Got to push yourself. Okay, guys. Focus on the positive as it helps put things into perspective and explore new opportunities, even new beginnings. Definitely new beginnings. I have so many new beginnings, right? Those chapters that I closed that I thought was going to be ongoing, I basically shut those doors on those chapters, right? All those like negative things that I was thinking about, I shut the doors because I wanted to create opportunities for myself. Obviously writing quotes was one of them. A YouTube channel was one of them. My Instagram, all those kind of things, right? Even this inside the mind of RLQ was an opportunity, was a new opportunity, right? I was like, what can I do on YouTube, right? To that I could talk to people for a long period of time, and I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe people when they read my quotes, they might not understand what was really going on in my mind as I was writing. So, I was like, I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey and how it relates to the quote that I wrote today. So, hopefully that that what I've been talking about, you guys can understand where that quote comes from, because like change is scary, right? Especially when it's something you feel that this isn't for me, right? And that's going to happen sometimes, Um, but we're all going to go through many different chapters in our life, right? Some of it is not going to suit us, but some of it are is going to be well suited for us, right? It's just like any relationship, right? If you're going through a relationship and you thought that person was the one, then all of a sudden that person's not the one, then there's going to be a new opportunity until you find someone that that you can match with, right? Um, and when you start to see those changes, those positive changes, um, then that's a sign that you are on the right track, you know. And when it does happen, you're gonna thank yourself for having the patience, believing in yourself, believing and telling yourself, "Hey, you know what? I'm so glad that I was able to hang on." Hardest part is, having continue to have hope, not to lose faith, and to believe that one day you are going to be able to see that light, right? That light that you probably some of us may think if you're going through anxiety and depression right now that light is almost impossible to see, right? But that light is always there for you, right? But you need to work on yourself so that you can start allowing that light to come into your life, right? And once you allow that light to be a part of your life, you're going to see some beautiful changes, and your perspective on how you see the world, how you see people, and how you see yourself is going to be completely different, right? Like that difference of me living in that darkness to now is literally 180 degrees. Like I can't believe the the change, the difference, right? And that's why I want to help as many people as I can, because I know what it's like to be in a place where it's so dark. That feeling of feeling that you don't have a place in this world anymore, right? No one loves you, or like, because you're not loving yourself as well, but there is no hope, right? But there definitely is. And that's why with all the stuff that I do on it, I spend like 10 hours a day, guys, like just trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to help people. And I know that time I'm putting in is so worth it, right? One quote that I put out may have changed many lives today already. That one quote that I'm talking about today could have changed the way people think, right? That to carry those thoughts, those positive thoughts for their tomorrow. Because when they wake up tomorrow morning, they're going to remember the quote that I wrote today, and they're going to start saying, you know what? Roger was right yesterday when I read that quote, that today I'm going to start making a few changes so that I can start seeing a better tomorrow, right? But the hardest part is trying to forget about the past, right? That's another thing that you have to work on, but it can be done, right? And there are so many steps, but remember, guys, it's focus first, because once you allow yourself to focus, then everything starts to clear up here. I talk about it a lot, right? You need to start clearing up here so that you have the ability to actually get inside your mind, to start organizing what are the thoughts that are most important to you, that's going to help you become a better version of yourself, right? If you are constantly thinking about negative thoughts that is basically destroying you or destroying your life, those are the thoughts that you cannot continue to think about, because it is not helping you move forward. It is not helping you, you know, get to a place where you can start changing your life, right? So once you start to get a clearer vision of how you see yourself or want to see yourself in the near future, right? Then you can start focusing on what are the goals that you need to work on to get to that point, right? Where you can finally find your joy and happiness, right? Shell, if someone would have told me that I was going to find a new passion by making a big career change a year and a half ago, I wouldn't have believed then. But look at me now. I love everything about it. There you go, Seashell. It is definitely, and what it did was, it was telling yourself that I need to make that change. Like I want the change. So what am I going to do about it, right, Shell? And you did it. You took those steps, even though, maybe some of those parts during that chapter, it wasn't smooth, right? But you learned something from it, but you still got there because you believed in yourself, and you believed that, hey, you know what? I need to, and I need to work on myself every single day in order for myself to get to see those changes, right? And it worked for you, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you, Shell, that you're living in a space where you can wake up in the morning, and with Bean, of course, and you love your job. I think that's the greatest thing, right? To wake up in the morning, to love your job, to get up and to actually jump off from your bed, instead of, wanting to hit your snooze button like 10 times and telling yourself, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to go to work. I hate my job." You know, I don't want I don't want to spend the day, seeing that specific person, those specific type of people, right? And I believe that it is one of the hardest things to do, is to find that job that you love to do, right? For the past 40 years before I started doing this, that was me. Besides working with my brother, right? But I believe that I love doing it, but it wasn't my passion. It wasn't something that, that it was coming from in here, right? Helping people. Like I said, sometimes your passion, you're not going to find it, but it will find you, right? The universe gave that to me, finally. But in order for me to receive that, I had to go through a very, very dark time in my life, right? This is the only way that I'm able to do what I do, right? Because I understand what it's like to come from a dark place to live in a space where it's light, right? And through that journey that I went through, I can use that experience to teach others on how to get there, right? But if I didn't have my accident, I would still be that same Roger in my comfort zone. I wouldn't have learned anything really, right? I learned so much within a short period of time. Well, 5 years isn't short, but to me, when I look back at it, I mean, I learned more in that 5 years than I learned in the past 35 years prior to that, right? Like the stuff I learned at school, I didn't learn any of that at school. It was all self-taught. And not just that, but remember, I used to read a lot of quotes. I learned so much from just reading quotes. And that's when told myself that quotes is a powerful tool that can help people change the way they think. They can start reading every single day, right, Sai? Reading my ebook every single day before you go to bed. Read those, right? So when you wake up in the morning, your mind is already, you're already starting to reprogram the way you think, right? And and helping people is something that I love to do. I When you guys like comment on my post telling me that, hey Roger, that quote that you like today, quote I left today, when they left a comment, people were saying, like, I needed to hear that. This is exactly what I wanted to hear, right? um and that tells me that, I've been doing the right thing. I am so grateful and so blessed that, I've been given the chance to be able to do something like this, right? To be able to make a difference in people's lives, to for one person to be able to do that. And they say, one person can change the world or change people, and it's so true, and I'm so glad to be a part of that. Thank you, God, for giving me this gift. Joanna, I meant to say it's made me, oh sorry. I was in a bad place last year, and I thank you too, Sir Roger. Your quotes and lives has made me change the way I think, and it's made change in a big way. I meant to say it's made me change in a big way, and how it makes I see the future now in a positive way. And I'm so glad that I've been able to do that, right? Because sometimes you just need to hear someone say these things. Sometimes you could talk to someone, right? You could talk to them for hours, but they haven't said the one thing that you really wanted to hear, right? And for me, when I was going through that dark time, my brother told me a lot of great things. My mom told me a lot of great things, but it was just I don't know. It just wasn't something that was it didn't give me that, "Hey, Roger, you gotta get it done," Pat, I mean, you helped me so much, man. I mean, but I think I was looking for things. That's when I started reading quotes, right? Quotes really made me try to like kick myself in the butt, right? Like it was like, Roger, man, this is what you need to do, right? And sometimes you know what the difference is? It's listening to someone that actually has been through a really, really dark time, you know, because I remember talking to somebody that helped me during my dark time, because that person actually went through anxiety and depression, right? And if for some reason I was able to click. It clicked, right? Because I believe that, hey, if that person was able to go through that experience and that person seemed fine, then I can do it as well, right? I think that is the difference, So I'm so glad that I'm able to help you guys. It really, really means so much to me. Farhana, reading RLQ page quotes are my wake up and sleep time habit. Thanks, Roger. Farhana, you actually read my ebook too, right? Before you go to bed. Um, you know what I was actually thinking of? I'm getting really close to 5,000 subscribers, so I think when I hit 5,000, I think I'm going to offer a new free ebook for you guys. You think that's a good idea? I think it's worth it, right? Let's see. I wonder if my brother is still online. So yeah, so this journey has been is absolutely incredible. And I don't know where I would be without all you guys. Like, and one day I hope I get a chance to actually see you guys in person. I think that's one of my biggest goals, is to be able to actually travel to different countries and to speak in person, and to be able to give you a hug in person. Wouldn't that be great, guys? Just to be able to like, I mean, it's something that I still see, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know if I do work on myself every single day, and I just don't stop, I know it's going to lead me to a place where I can actually, visit your country and see you in person, and that'd be the greatest thing. Nihal, you're doing a great job. Stay blessed. Hugs from Rita. Oh, Rita. Okay, Rita, you're Rita. Thank you for staying. I'm gonna message you, Rita, tonight. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good. The weekend is Friday. Pat, still, my brother's still here. Awesome. Farhana, take coffee and cherish every moment. Yes, Farhana knows that I do love my coffee. Coffee is, like I say, is one of the best inventions in the world. I did bring my water. Oh shoot, I have 2 bottles of water. I don't know if this was like yesterday or I think this is the water actually. But yeah, yeah. So about change, guys. So don't forget, if you are if you're starting to think that, hey, you know what? I really want to change my life, right? I really, really believe that what if I'm gonna do if I'm gonna you can actually start today. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can do something that you haven't done in a long time. You can even pick up something a hobby, a new hobby, or maybe something from the past, right? If you wanted to start exercising for the longest time, but you've been telling yourself, I want to do it, but you've never done it, 5 minutes, pick something like a routine off of YouTube and just follow them. My wife is doing it right now. She's actually doing pretty good. She's started about 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, and she's been like after work. The first thing she does, even before she eats, she gets into her gym clothes. She starts working out. That's change, right? She started to tell myself, you know what, I'm getting a little older, but I'm still young enough, to see my body change, to get myself healthy, right? And that's a mindset thing, and once you start making a habit, and you start being consistent, it's a beautiful thing. The change you can the thing when you start to see things like physical changes is a great thing too. But when you start, especially up here, when you start just to see the changes, like the way you think up here, I mean, it's I can't even explain it. I like my mindset now from when it was 5 years ago. He is like completely different, right? Um, and when your mind starts to change in a positive way, like everything you think about is geared towards that positivity, right? You want to do more for yourself. You want to accomplish more things. You want to like tackle a lot of things that you thought you never could do. I think that's very rewarding when you're telling yourself that, hey, you know what, I don't think I can do it. I know other people can do it, right? But I don't think I can. But when you at least attempt it and you start seeing, wait a second, maybe I can do it. And then when you actually do it, then you're like, wait, all that time I was telling myself, hey, I wasn't able to do it, but I actually can. That accomplishment right there is huge. Because once you're able to accomplish that particular thing, then you're going to have the mindset telling yourself, you know what? Hey, maybe I can do many other things. And you can. There are so many things that you can do. Your greatness is unlimited, right? It's what we tell ourselves that limits us. We tell ourselves that, hey, we can't do it. We tell ourselves, no, I can't get there. No, it can't be done. It's impossible. We tell ourselves that. But if you change the way you think and you tell yourself, no, I can do it, you know, I can start seeing myself, taking those little steps and trying at least, right? Trying, I think, is the most important thing here, right? Because you don't want to tell yourself, 20 years down the road, when I was younger, I should have tried. Maybe now I'm a little bit too old and I can't and I'm not able to do it, right? But you're never gonna know until you do it. And that's what I did with quotes, right? It was funny because I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna try it. If I showed you my first quote, guys, you guys would laugh. I think Pat, you remembered it. It was about using the force. And I think I used Yoda. That was my first quote, literally. And I don't even think I used my name. I used another name. I can't remember because I was so embarrassed. I didn't want to use Roger Lee, right? But eventually, I continued to write and my quotes started to make a little bit more sense. And then I was like, you know what? I need to put my name there. Uh, it was, yeah, it was funny, but maybe one day I will show it to you. But I think Pat, you remembered it was about using the Force and waking up every single day and using the Force like Yoda. That was my first quote. Bernadette, Thank you so much, Roger. It's 4 a.m. Oh, you only have 3 hours before opening my shop. All the best. Oh, get some good sleep. Uh, thank you for staying for to watch my live, Bernadette. It really means so much to me that you get some sleep. And hopefully, some of the stuff I spoke today is going to give you that energy. So when you wake up in the morning, you're going to jump off your bed. You're going to be like, "Oh, I can't wait to go open my shop. I can't make to wait see changes in my life." And once you start having that mindset, you're going to see beautiful things happen. You can see beautiful things happen. So good night, Bernadette. Shell, believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there's something inside of you is greater than any obstacle. Definitely, you have to unleash that beast. Oh, that was another quote I wrote. That was one of my old one. It was like waking up, own the day, and you've got to unleash the beast. I mean, I read that quote from somewhere, but I kind of altered it away. But there is a beast inside you, and that is your strength, right? You've got to, and going through those dark chapters is going to help you tell yourself that, oh, wow, I was holding that in that whole time. Okay, here it comes. You let that out, and watch how strong you are. Watch how many things you can get done, right? When you put that time and effort and you physically get it done. It's not that mental. I mean, that mental thing telling yourself is one part of it, but getting it done, physically, that's where those changes are going to happen. Those are when you're going to start seeing those amazing changes happen in your life, right? Yoda rules. He totally does. Hey, Mandalorian, Pat. Started yesterday, I think. So don't forget to watch Mandalorian season 3 on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Oh no, it's on Disney. On Disney, right? I gotta watch that. Oh man, have you guys watched Mandalorian? Man, oh, Yoda is so cute. So yeah, so hopefully you guys were able to learn something today. Remember, change is so important. Don't be afraid of change. I wrote that quote the other day about that bridge. Don't be afraid to cross that bridge, because there is something beautiful for you waiting on the other side. There's so many things waiting for you. That past, try to let go of that. Try not to think too much about that past that's basically holding on to you and saying, no, you gotta stay in the past. You gotta live in the past. There's nothing for you in the future. That's not true. That's not true. There's so much we don't even know what's gonna happen tomorrow, right? So believe in those brighter days, like I talk about it all the time. Look forward to those brighter days, because there's gonna be a lot of things still happening. Those wonderful things. There's so many things that you still want in your life. It's all there ahead of you. It's in the future, right? So every day you get a chance to take those steps, walking forward, right? The only direction, guys, is forward, right? There is no backwards. Backwards is everything that's already happened to you, right? Just try to remember those moments, learn from those experiences of what you went through in the past. That's what it was meant for, right? That's exact those hard things that was hard to let go, those hard times that you went through. There are something to learn about it. So take those experiences from your past, bring it along with you on your journey to give you that strength to take that step, those bold steps to continue moving forward, and just look at and picture yourself in a very, very happy place, in a very successful place, that better version of yourself. That is the direction that you need to start heading towards, because that better version of yourself is waiting for you. It's waiting for you every single day. So if you take those steps every single day and you work on yourself, you start loving yourself, you start taking care of your health, right? And start feeding positive information. Crucial, guys. Positive information in your mind. Your mind is a sponge. Remember that. Start absorbing that positive information. That is going to help you. You are going to see those little steps. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. Those little steps are going to turn to big steps. Those big steps are going to turn to leaps, and those leaps are gonna and gonna you're gonna end up being on top of that mountain one day. Okay, guys. Mary, yes, there's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the back window. You weren't meant to look backwards. You were meant to look forward. I love that. I remember reading that. I remember when I read that. Oh man, that is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Mary. It is so true. Amen to this beautiful life. Thank you so much, Rita. Thank you so much, David. Thank you. Every cloud has a silver line. That is beautiful too. They use that a lot. I love that too. There are so many beautiful quotes. Hey, Emma. Hi, Emma. How are you doing? I sorry if I missed you, Emma. If you spoke to me earlier, I probably missed a couple of things in the chat. But thank you so much for joining. Pat, love you. My mom even joined. So I had my mom and my brother here today. I told my sister. I don't know if she joined, but thank you so much for Hannah. Uh, Sai, Michelle, Bean, Emma, Joanne, David, Mary, Rita. Oh, you guys are so amazing. I am going to go live hopefully tomorrow for Facebook, and then I'll probably do another Inside the Mind of RLQ number 10 next week. So thank you again, guys, for joining my live. I hope the setup was way better than my one last time. I hope you guys were able to hear me clearly because I'm speaking right to the mic. And that reminds me, I still need to do my next podcast. I think I have to do episode 5. It's been such a long time. I promise you guys, I'm going to do my next podcast soon. Just so many things I got to do, but one day at a time, right? One breath at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. Remember, guys. So I'm going to catch you next time. Thank you guys so much for joining me again. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you live tomorrow, hopefully on Facebook. And remember, the weekend is coming up. You get a chance every single day to make changes in your life. Try something new this weekend. If you want to do it, if you want to try exercising, guys, I'm telling you guys, exercising is so important for you. Try it. 5 minutes. Start off with 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, and do that change for yourself, right, guys? It's gonna make huge differences. If you want to see a change in your life, you're gonna have to make changes, right, for yourself and work on yourself every single day. So remember, guys, hey, Sai, I will catch you next live tomorrow, probably, right? Tomorrow. I've learned a lot from you from the live today, sir. Oh, I'm so glad you did, Sai. I love you so much. Mary, you're amazing. Can't wait to see you next time. It will be tomorrow, hopefully on Facebook, Mary. I will see you then. Remember, guys, your mind matters. Have a beautiful weekend. And I will catch you next live tomorrow. Okay, guys. I'll see you on Facebook. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, if I do it tomorrow. Thanks again, guys. I love you so much. I said your mind matters, right? Don't forget to love yourself too. Don't forget to love yourself. Bye, guys. Take care.